From Americana to Zydeco and everything in between, this is the Extended Play Sessions.
Tell me, baby, what you gonna do? Got something in mind, got a little time for a girl just passing through. A girl just passing through. Tell me, honey, what you gonna play? Can you play that thing? Can you do it till you bring me back to another day? To the heat of another day. Devil in mind, devil in mind. Everybody got a little devil in mind. Devil in mind, steal a duke mind. Everybody got a little...
Every gig, I mean, the goal is to engage in something with the audience, to connect with the audience, and have it be that we're all experiencing this together and feeling things together. You know, for example, when we perform in theaters where it's very dark out in the audience, I can't see faces, I get a little freaky. I have trouble, you know, connecting when I can't see eyes and faces. But that's what I'm in it for, you know, because I think music is just such a powerful medium for sharing emotion. It's a lot easier than doing it with words, even, you know.
Well, I'm a little different when it comes to wanting to see the audience or not.
Mm-hmm.
I like to kind of slip into a character and be on the stage, and I can do that without seeing people's faces. But at the same time, I don't mind, you know, people's faces either when I'm performing. I think that there's something about we as humans have this sort of need to connect with one another, and I think that we used to do that a lot more with storytelling, just sitting around and looking at each other and telling stories. And there's a little bit of that energy that I would like to bring to the shows that we do. So we'll talk, you know, we talk during our show, and I think that that's something that's beautiful, a slowdown, you know. Hopefully people's phones aren't out at that exact moment, and we can kind of just connect on a human level. Unfortunately, we can't have a lot of, you know, stories coming this way from the audience, although sometimes that does happen a little bit, a comment here or there, and that's great too. And I think that when that happens, that feels like a good show to me, you know. Mm-hmm. All of the notes and everything, those are just here so that we can kind of connect with one another, and so.
Come and find me in your dream tonight. I'll be waiting on a star. I've only been waiting since time began, sipping moonshine from a jar. We could set sail on a silver sea, the wind at our backs, just you and me. So go and find me in your dream tonight. I'll be waiting patiently.
Come and find me in your dream tonight. What you're writing on my wall, I've only been waiting since time began, but I don't mind waiting now at all. And when I awake to the din of the day,
sun has its way. So
come and find me in your dream.
in your dream
Tonight
we'll
let this old world
world
slip away and away.
I've only been waiting since time began, but I don't mind waiting none at all.
And I don't mind waiting none at all.
I don't mind waiting none at all.
Well, looking back over the last decade, I definitely see a lot of highways and a lot of landscapes, different countries. One of the coolest things about touring with Chip Taylor was that we played more in Europe than in the US. So I was traveling to the UK, to Scandinavia, you know, like fresh out of music school. I was getting to go over there and see all those places, meet people from all over the world, and it really quickly broadened my, you know, worldview. So I see all those miles and what else? You know, musically, things just keep changing. I mean, every day it's different, and I love that. I mean, that's why music is so wonderful. From the moment that I started with Chip, I was still almost like a classical violinist. You know, had no idea I would be singing, writing songs, and still every day is challenging and new. The things that we're working on together are so different and new and challenging for me. Still growing a lot, and I hope I still am when I'm 80, if I live to be that long.
Tell me, baby, what you gonna do? Got something in mind, got a little time for a girl just passing through. A girl just passing through. Tell me, honey, what you gonna play? Can you play that thing? Can you do it till you bring me back to another day? To the heat of another day. Devil in mind, everybody got a little devil in mind.
Devil in mind.
Stealing you mind, everybody got a little devil in mind. I hear, baby, that you own this town, and I can't see why you're trouble when the sun goes down. Trouble when the sun goes down. So come on, whisper in my ear. Give me one more sip of that Baltimore lady. Let's get on out of here. Let's get on out of here. Devil in mind, everybody got a little devil in mind.
Devil in mind.
Stealing you mind, everybody got a little devil in mind. get scaring me half to death. So come on, who just closed the door? Give me one more sip of that Baltimore. Give me one more sip of that Baltimore. Give me one more sip of that Baltimore lady. Let's get out on the floor. Let's get out on the floor.
Devil in mind,
Devil in mind, everybody got a little devil in mind.
devil in mind.
Stealing you mine, everybody got a little devil in mind.
Definitely, when I was first starting with Chip, I felt for sure that, you know, American music was more appreciated in Europe than here. But I will say, I feel that shifting. You know, we do tour probably just as much in Europe as we do in the U.S. I'd say we split it about half and half. And it's great, especially in the U.K., well, Scandinavia too, Holland, even Italy. I mean, we've had a really great experience touring in Italy. But then the last few years, I do feel like more and more people are tuning in this country. Radio is becoming more and more friendly towards roots music, and there are more and more venues to play. I mean, we are on kind of a circuit of playing listening rooms all over the country, and every decent-sized city now pretty much has at least one room for listening to songs, which is really great, you know. So I do see an upward trend, which is encouraging.
I bend, I don't break. If I want, I just take. If I cut, I bleed. If I bleed, I don't cry. Don't cry, don't cry. I cry for love. I cry for love. If I fall, I get up. Am I tough enough? Oh, I bend, I don't break. If I want, I just take. If I cut, I bleed. If I bleed, I don't cry, don't cry. I don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I cry for love. I cry for love. Want some of this, want some of that, some of what, where it's at. If I fall, I get up. Am I tough enough? Oh, I bend, I don't break. If I want, I just take. If I cut, I bleed. If I bleed, I don't cry, don't cry. I don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I cry for love. I cry for love. I cry for love. I cry for love.
I certainly try to be as observant as I can, especially on the road. You know, we just were in New York over the weekend. Just being in a subway car, there are so many conversations going on around you. It's fascinating. And, eavesdropping in New York is the best eavesdropping in the world. So I'm definitely taking it in. I'm not one of those people that writes so much on the road. I kind of need to get home and settled and quiet, and then I start thinking about what I've experienced. Yeah.
I definitely feel like there's a song around me all the time, whether I tap into it or not. Just yesterday, I was sitting at the bar after our gig, and I was overhearing an actual boxer, with this beautiful Northeast accent talking about his fight last night, and it was just the most fascinating thing to me. Like this is America, this is real. And this is the kind of stuff that, traveling you get to see or partake in, and that's good. The part that's a little strange that I'm getting used to still is that I really feel like a traveler or an observer, like almost a foreigner all the time, because you're in a new place every day and you're not with your community, and so you're just listening to these conversations around you, and that can be good and a little bit sad. Maybe some of that gets into the music too. I don't know.
It can be a little lonesome.
Yeah, a little lonesome.
Sometimes when I've been on the road for a long time, I'll go take a walk, and I'll just look in people's houses, kind of try to spy in their living room, and I see them in there having dinner together or whatever, and I think, wow, then they probably all live here, and they do that every day.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
I get a little bit bored to try to get at the core of what's going on in my heart. Time, Brooklyn's always gonna be there. Nothing wrong with a little clean air and a brand new start. My, look at where we began. It's no wonder I ran. You always wanted more. I think I'll just rest right here. And no reason to fear what's in store. Oh, I'd like to think that all those years of push and pulling me in tears were worth something. Yeah, I'd like to think those summer days and the Red Hook heat and the Brooklyn haze were worth something. Oh, were they worth something? Ba 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 la ba da da, ba la ba da da, ba la ba ba, ba ba la ba da da, ba la ba da da, ba la ba ba. Sit still, it's better if I let it unfold, and don't always do what I'm told. Learn something new, just to feel your warm breath on my skin, do it all over again. Baby, you know it's true. Oh, I'd like to think that all those years of push and pull and me in tears were worth something. Yeah, I'd like to think of those summer days and the Red Hook heat and the Brooklyn haze were worth something. Oh, were they worth something? Sometimes I gotta get a little bit bored to try to get at the core of what's going on in my heart. I take time, Brooklyn's always gonna be there. Nothing wrong with a little clean air and a brand new start.
Well, I grew up in Austin, Texas, which was lucky, and I was taking classical violin lessons from a great teacher, but my mother had many friends in the music world in Austin, so she'd take me out to see bands all the time. One of my first memories of seeing a fiddle player was, I think, before I started playing the violin. I was 4. she took me to see Uncle Walt's band. This is a fantastic band that lived in Austin for a while. Walter Hyatt was the lead singer and songwriter, and Champ Hood was the fiddle player. So I do remember like sitting on the floor at a club looking up at this guy. He had a red afro. So I thought, wow, he's got hair just like mine. And I related to him and thought he was so cool. So I was aware of fiddle music from the very beginning. I started buying records that, Johnny Gimble was on, or I had a Mark O'Connor New Nashville Cats album, probably in my early teens or late, 10, 11. And I started trying to copy what he was doing. I had an Alison Krauss record that I really loved of her just playing. It was a fiddle compilation, but she was playing just fiddle tunes on there, no singing. And I tried to copy all of them. I really didn't have the feel down. I was pretty stiff, and it took a long time. I'm still working on the feel. But my first gig was probably with my father. He's a singer-songwriter. His name's David Rodriguez. He started getting me out into the clubs when I was about 12 in Austin, and I'd accompany him just playing simple melodies. And I sat in with Don Walzer when I was 13, played Orange Blossom Special with him. So those were the beginning, first little inklings of it. I wasn't good as a fiddle player. I mean, I was pretty, stiff. But little by little, it just kind of seeped in. Well, and I studied it, I studied those players, and then went to the Berklee College of Music and studied it even more. Sorrow for the only one I love. When shall I see him? Oh no, never. Till I meet him in heaven above. So bury me under the weeping willow, yes, under the weeping willow tree. So he may know where I am sleeping, and perhaps he will weep for They told me that he did not love me. I could not believe it was true until an angel softly whispered, he has proven untrue to you. So bury me under the weeping willow tree, so he may know where I am sleeping, and perhaps he will weep for me.
dad was a minister, so music was a different kind of thing in our house. I certainly was filled with like a tradition of like church music, a hymnal, and then like trying to sneak to my friend's house to listen to AC/DC. I think it all kind of creeps in. And then, as far as the Americana thing, I mean, in Minneapolis we had the Jayhawks, who I really loved. So they, I would definitely tip my hat towards them as far as what I hear Americana-wise, when I'm bringing something to a song. But, yeah.
Well, and I first heard Luke play from his previous band, which was called Romantica, really cool alt-country band from Minneapolis. And I remember what struck me the most about your band was just the pop sensibility. Your pop hooks were really strong, and that's something I don't know as much about. I grew up, listening to a lot of fiddle music, traditional, bluegrass, old-timey thing, but just a simple 3-note pop hook can be so powerful. I think you're really good at that. I'm learning about it from you.
Well, thank you, Carrie Rodriguez. This definitely is Minnesota meeting Texas. I mean, Carrie studied music her entire life, and I've just had it as a part of my life, I suppose you could say. And so bringing it together has been really fun. I mean, I do appreciate pop hooks or, playing 3 notes the right way, the right 3 notes. And Carrie can play those 3 notes and then, 10,000 more. It's amazing. Like, I only know those 3. And she knows so many more. It's really fun to make music with her.